going, JDM crew? John here from JDM Expo, and with another inventory video, and this one happens to be for S15 Silvia. For those of you guys looking at 240s and Silvias and stuff, this is the later generation that wasn't available in the States. Definitely a good time. Wheelbase and everything else is very familiar, so if you've ever driven an S13 or 14, it's pretty much similar. So pretty cool throughout the whole series, so very familiar. The cabin and the interior is a little bit different, that's about it. Visibility is slightly different also because the rear window, I believe, is a little bit smaller on this one versus the S13 and S14. The S13 and 14 tend to be a little bit more balanced, while the S15 is a little bit more wedge-shaped towards the front, so that's one of the major differences with the design, which definitely a lot of you guys are familiar with. The front end of the S15 looks really good. And of course, for all Silvia and drift fans are very familiar with the SR20. And as you can tell from that, all right, we've got, definitely it's been opened up a bit. So about the interior of this S15, you can already see we've got a couple of fresh Defi gauges here. We have the OEM gauge cluster here, so nothing really different in that regard. We've had a couple in the past which had different gauge faces, so this one's OEM. We do have the Apex I FC Commander, so we got a little bit of tuning done on this one. The previous owner, whoever it was, definitely opened it up a bit, shortened up some of the piping, so we do have a larger aftermarket intercooler. We have the intake, and the exhaust is pretty much close to straight pipe. I do have the silencers on there, so it's not so noisy. So you can hear, whoa, it sounds pretty good. Just didn't want to attract too much attention, so I put the silencers back in for this video. As for the suspension, the handling is really nice and firm here. We do have coilovers, it's all adjusted, so we are dropped quite a bit, which I'm not really sure how much the video is actually detecting the roadway there. You might see more of it than you do with some of our other videos, which are around stock height. If you're overseas, it'll definitely need to be lifted before we ship it out, but if you're here in Japan, we'll leave it as is. Now we do have a little bit of a body kit on here. Everything's matched to the OEM blue. Looks pretty good. And it's not all scraped up or anything, so the previous owner took good care of it, and I'll continue to do so for this video. Definitely want to keep it looking nice. And yeah, for the interior, by the way, we do have, I'm not sure, I believe this is a Nardi Torino steering wheel. It's missing the little label in the front, but it does say Nardi on the leather side, so I believe this is the Torino. The rest of the interior is OEM though, so still nice and comfortable. It's pretty chilly outside. I got the heater going, so in here it's in the 20s, while outside it's, you know, in the low teens or in the 60s or upper 50s Fahrenheit. And so as you can see, definitely really kicks in on the boost there. And yep, SR20 definitely delivers there, so really good kick. If you're a drifter, it's fine. This one seems to be a little bit more set up for grip, so pretty nice on the response though too. I'll show you in the engine bay. A lot of custom stuff done to it. The piping isn't the cleanest job, but it's still really good in terms of like a pipe lengthening, so whoever did it, at least in terms on a technical aspect, it was a pretty good job. The intake plenum is with the individual throttle bodies, I believe, so that's shortened up as much as possible, but it's modified a bit from OEM, so it's made more for better response, rather than having the single throttle body that you typically see in the OEM level, so a little bit smoother. But yeah, let's head over to the garage and I'll show you at the warehouse what we've got on the exterior and the interior here. Tell you a little bit more about the audio deck. This one was also swapped out, but I'm not really sure about the rest of the audio system, so let's head over to the warehouse. I'll show you around. All right, so here from the interior, as you can see, OEM seats, and I'll open up the door here to get a little bit more light, but OEM carpeting there, as you can see, sort of. Dash is looking real good here. Oops, I do apologize for the hitting the mic there. And actually, let me go get the key and start it up so you can see the mileage here. We've got 87,000 on the clock there, so it is original. Got the Apex FC controller there, the FC Commander. Kenwood audio deck. Climate control, 6-speed manual, and as you can see, OEM shift knob, so it's quite worn. And I'll step out so you guys can get a better look at this Nardi Torino steering wheel. As I was mentioning before, it does have the Nardi branding right there at the bottom. If I can get it to focus. But it's just missing the little center cap there. Sorry, it's a little breezy, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. And the rest of the OEM interior there. And here you can see in the back, just a little bit of room. If you guys are familiar with the S13 and S14, then you'll know that the back area is, well, if you do scoot up the front seats a little bit, you can fit adults that are, you know, around 6 foot in all 4 seats, but, you know, you guys are all going to be, you know, kind of scrunched up in there, but still able to bring passengers along, no problem. Reasonably comfortably. Alright, so we'll go through the exterior a bit here, show you guys around, and as you can see, a nice healthy drop there. As you can see, the Volks raised 6 spokes all around. Looking really good there, and healthy drop, definitely like that. You see pretty good stance there, reasonably flush. It does have spacers on the wheels, but they are still pretty wide, and that's just there to make the fitment nice and flush. So all good there. As you can see, the good old front mount intercooler there. Pretty decent all around for the clear coat, as you can see there, and a nice low profile wing. So none of that extra big shopping cart look there, it's just nice and smooth from front to back. And as you can see, the body kit fits the contours of the OEM body lines pretty well here, so even though it is aftermarket, it has a really nice look, fits all the curves there very nicely. And so let's take a look under the hood here. Alright, and here we go. As you can see, some custom plumbing all around. So pretty much they've cut everything out to be as efficient as possible. And even around the turbo area, they don't have all the extra piping. It's pretty much just as fast as you can get it to that turbine to spin everything up. And as fast as you can press it. Yeah. And as fast as you can compress everything up through the front mount and into the intake plenum there. It's just all about maximum efficiency and speed. As you can see, if you have the individual throttle bodies for each of them there, and a small intake plenum chamber, so it's just basically jamming that fuel and air in as fast as possible. And by the way, if you guys are looking for some numbers in there, we do have the information right here, serial and everything. And so this is an SR20DE with the turbo conversion on there, which is why there's a lot of extra plumbing. You know, we do have the oil cooler kit here as well, oil filter kit. So everything is just really made to function in fashion, really. Even though it does have a good bit of fashion, it's just pretty much made to go. And yeah, a lot of the support equipment here, a lot of different hoses and ducting, see better cooling all around. So it's definitely made to go. And so a lot of the plumbing is pretty clean too, though, as you can see here. For the individual throttle bodies, a lot of the vacuum tubing, and even all the wiring for the boost gauge and other stuff. And it's actually starting to snow a little bit here. Yeah, just everything is made to be as efficient as possible. So also even though we do have a lot of custom piping on there, they kept the diameter relatively close to stock, so the response and everything is still really good. So it's not extra wide. You don't have a lot of that slowdown with a larger volume. It's just made to be pretty efficient at just delivering a good response and power. So the power levels are definitely, deep in the 200s, but I don't have any dyno numbers, but it's definitely nice and responsive. But it's not absurd, so it's not like we're pushing well over 300 there, but it's certainly got the support levels ready for that. And so I'll take a quick look in the trunk so you guys can see what's going on there. And we do have the OEM equipment in here, so even the paddings, all the carpetings are all there. And when I lift up this carpet here, you'll see I got even a spare tire and everything right there. So the jack here on the side. So yeah, all the goodies that you need. Even if you need a little bit of extra storage just above the fuel tank, there you go. Well, there you have it, crew. Another fine Silvia here at JDM Expo. And if you're interested in this or any other vehicles, you know what to do. Hit up our sales team info at jdm-expo.com. They'll be able to hook you up with any information that you're looking for. If you're looking for something else, or if you're looking for something modified like this, they got you covered. If you're looking for something a little bit more stock, it's getting harder and harder to find, but there's definitely plenty of those available in Type or Spec S, Spec R, not Type R, it's Spec R. Definitely some really good stuff there for the Silvia generation. And actually, through some of the auctions, I did notice there was a few S15 swaps on a lot of S14s that are popping up, so those are pretty cool too. Depending on the style that you like, personally, I do enjoy the S14 and S15 styles, but whatever you're looking for, though, we definitely got you covered. And also, with a lot of the delays in the supply lines and all that, definitely they can answer your questions there if you're wondering if there's any delays to your part of the world. So, as always, guys, thanks for stopping by, and keep the JDM dreams alive, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.